Please FUD Ethereum to me from an Ethereum holder. I want to understand if my investment thesis is wrong and all the folks who are convinced that ETH is going to underperform on the BTC ETH ratio or right over this market cycle. I want to know why. From my perspective, I see the most well-developed, genuinely decentralized, most user-friendly, most TVL, low inflation deflationary, highest daily transactions higher than BTC Layer 1 blockchain with working audited DApps that have real users. ETH is also the only smart contract-enabled blockchain that is in the process of getting an ETF right now. I don't hate BTC. I hold some BTC and have for years. I simply want to know why people so fervently rag on ETH despite literally every fundamental metric being positive for it. Most of these alt layer ones aren't decentralized, which completely undermines their value, and Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts, and it should be glaringly obvious that smart contracts are the future. By now, literally 9-10 if not more blockchains on the market right now are smart contract blockchains. Anyone who responds to this with something equivalent to smart contracts bad, don't bother replying. I know you are wrong. EY Global is building a layer 2 on ETH right now. The ECB has launched bonds on Ethereum. And there is clear demand for smart contract block space. This is indisputable. What I am interested in is nuanced replies. Do you think ETH's monetary policy is bad? Why? Do you think some other L1 blockchain has a different model that will genuinely be groundbreaking for user experience without sacrificing decentralization? Is there some other glaring piece of information that the Ethereum community is sticking their heads in the sand about, just like how the Bitcoin community has refused to upgrade the protocol, refused to acknowledge the importance of smart contracts, and generally shies away from potential future MEV problems in Bitcoin's economic model? Again, this is not a Bitcoin hate post. I hold Bitcoin. It has a clear value proposition as a store of value and emo hedge against hyperinflation. I'm not debating that. I just want a real intelligent reason for why people are often so bearish on ETH outside the ETH community, and the best parallel I can give is things I'm aware of that the Bitcoin community ignores. Fees are too high for me to use ETH. No hate or blame, but I can't afford to use ETH every day with such gas fees. I see a lot of projects that has difficulties to survive, especially when you pay more in fees than what you actually get. The fact that ETH once rewinded an entire blockchain, albeit because of a justified reason, means that rewinding the blockchain is a legit possibility. The next use case of that will likely be less severe than the first. But what happens in 20 years when crypto is integrated into law and we have huge court cases where the entire US compels a rewinding of a blockchain because failure to do so would result in catastrophic collapse of an economic system? Not saying it would be guaranteed to rewind it, but people will certainly fight over it to a degree reflective on the financial outcome. Someone will burn $100 billion in order to recover $150 billion. It was pre-mined in a shady way. Surprised people forget how dodgy its early days were. If someone is giving away free ETH or free Bitcoin, I'm taking the Bitcoin. Unless you're into crypto and have a hard-on for ETH, they'll choose the Bitcoin as well. That's as boiled down as it gets emo. ETH is like Golf 2 with spoilers, 18 rims, neons, tinted glass and a modded engine. No matter how much you pimp it, it will still be Golf 2. Does being deflationary not mean that the market cap would be getting smaller over time? From a technical perspective, the network is decentralized, but the governance is a mess. A centralized token distribution now aggravated by POS. Rewarding the large holders is going to cause problems and may even be the end for the network. 70 million ETH went to a small number of actors. There's no world where calling it decentralized is accurate. This cycle already heavily impacted by regulation. I'm sticking with user-owned tech that cannot be shut down by governments. Risk of regulation for ETH is higher than BTC. BTC is pretty solidly a commodity. But even cryptos folks think ETH could fall under a security. A lot more rules ETH may not be able to follow. If it does, exchanges and major financial markets could dump it and kill ETH without letting ETH fight for survival. ETH is a company. Enough said. It doesn't matter. Crypto is driven by narrative. Last cycle they did the same thing with ETH. They ran the negative narrative before the halving. Then all the new projects came out. Then it was great again. Then they both ran together. Just be patient and wait and stop overthinking it. So I look at it from a personal use perspective. ETH sucks. Plain and simple. It's way too expensive and super slow. I'll never transact on it because I don't want to burn money on fees. I've seen only a couple people on here that actually participate in DeFi on ETH. So naturally I look towards L2s, but those are extremely centralized at the moment, much more centralized than Solana for Avalanche, for instance. So just from a personal investment perspective, if I would never use ETH in its current form for DeFi main purpose, why would I invest in it? I agree. I hold a mix of ETH and BTC as my two largest holdings. As some others have pointed out, however, the fees on ETH are the big barrier to almost everything. There do seem to be some attempts to address this, but they are all a long-term plan that seems to continually be a long-term plan, with any real change not seeming to be a thing that is as actively pushed as it should be. I do hope they can overcome these issues, as the underlying idea behind ETH is fantastic. 70 Premium scam. ETH Foundation dumps on you. POS is Fiat 2.0. Platform for more scams. Everything ETH thinks it can do, Bitcoin will do better eventually. BRC20. Devs change code whenever they want to. Very objective, I know. Tears of joy. Gas fees. L2s are centralized. ETH not moving anymore. POS is not real decentralization. It will never be utilized because fees are mad. Vitalik and co. are always selling their reserves as soon as price moves. Genuinely decentralized, most user-friendly, like someone forgot the comedy flair. If I was to buy a crypto for something rather than making quick profits, aka scalping, it would be for sending it for someone else. Yeah, I mean money transfer. I checked ETH's fees and it was sky high, over $10. What I would do, simply send some pocket money for my child, maybe $50. What I would do, pay for something that I bought for and I would not like to get charged 5 to 10 more just for using ETH, when there are easier money transfer and payment cryptos that can do it 10x or 100x cheaper. No offense. ETH sucks because the alternative folk who hold it foam out the mouth over gas fees, but most Bitcoiners I know shut the fuck up about their investments. Too hard for average Joe to understand. ETH is so complicated. A reliable scaling solution is not on the horizon. Therefore ETH is fueling all the ETH killers by itself. L2s are just independent projects and are not scaling solutions to ETH. Insane gas fees still can't be solved even after major upgrades. Other L1s will overtake it in terms of DeFi. ETH's only accomplishment is first mover's advantage. The network is spaghetti code. High fees. MEV. They enjoy stealing from you. Vitalik isn't as smart as you think. Vitalik is a pedophile.